Looks like the kidnappers made a big mistake. The girl in the trunk was Detective Jowd's daughter, Camilla, not the minister's daughter. It's honestly kind of confusing as to how that could possibly happen. Were they given absolutely no physical description of the person that they were supposed to be kidnapping, or did they just grab the first kid that they found? Either way, the entire foundation of this crime is faulty at the most base level. Either the kidnappers, the two, short guy and tall girl, either they didn't care about who they kidnapped, or they didn't read up on it, or they weren't paying attention, or the person who gave the orders is just stupid and decided, it's just a kid at a park. Go take, just like, not like there's not gonna be a few of those there. Oy. When I got back to the Justice Minister's office, things were getting even more out of hand. The devastated man was being grilled by the fiery detective lady. Probably why she's got that hair color. Cranky! Man, she made the room shake. I told Lynn what I had found out about the kidnapping, that it was the Justice Minister's daughter who had been abducted. Glad we just jumped past that. That the kidnappers had been holed up in Camilla's old house and that they sensed my presence and were already gone. It's a very real problem. But Camilla? Why do they have Camilla? Really bad luck. Her father isn't the stupid old Justice Minister. I think the stupid old part is a little uncalled for. Is it though, Sissel? Is it? It looks like the kidnappers made a mistake somehow. The poor girl kidnapped for the ransom of her own father's execution. It's just too much. It's a cruel twist of fate, I agree. And then there are those other twists. I don't know how many twists there are, but there are more than one. Like the kidnappers winding up and using Camilla's old house as their hideout. There's no way it could be just coincidence. That your detective sense going off? And them sensing my presence. They seem to know about the powers of the dead. I just don't understand any of it. Well, this is all alien information to everybody. I told you before, Detective. I want you to stand back. No! Who cares about distance at a time like this? Look, Mr. Minister. Mr. Minister Sinister. Sinister Minister! It wasn't your daughter that was kidnapped. Don't try to pretend you didn't hear what we were saying. Nargabragan! How can I believe you? I'm a realist! Please! If you don't believe what we say, see for yourself. Just call home and... I tried calling 100 times. My wife won't answer. She won't. It's complicated. Oh, why does life have to be such a complicated thing? But if she doesn't answer, doesn't that mean everything's normal? It doesn't prove it! And I'm being watched. I can't have the police go check for me. Besides, if the execution isn't carried out tonight, the hostage will be killed. What difference does it make that it's not my daughter? I mean, yeah. Woo-wee, that's quite a pickle, Mr. Minister. Quite a pickle. I only know of one person who draws out their vowels so incredibly unnecessarily. This asshole. Honestly, no. I was quite happy with you not being around. Inspector Cabanella. Please stop doing that. I have a little report for you, Mr. Minister. The escaped prisoner has been apprehended. Thought you might like to see him, so here he is. You brought him here? Instead of a police station? That's a little weird. Detective Jowd! Detective Jowd, I'm so sorry, I tried. Oh, now why you gotta be going like this? I know that you're innocent! I just can't prove it. Which is really makes things difficult. I'm so sorry. Lynn, please don't apologize to me. Ah, the beautiful love between a teacher and student. It brings a tear to my eye, except it doesn't, because I'm a no-feeling jerk. And my scarf is stupid. And my chair broke! Okay. Alright, so what exactly are we gonna do here? Lynn doesn't really know that Jowd is innocent. She just believes it from the bottom of her heart. The execution and the kidnapping are real threats, and time marches on. I'll gather information and see if I can think of something. This all relates back to me somehow, I just know it. I mean, probably. Alright, let's talk to some fools. My poor... I really wish I knew how to pronounce that. Emily. But Emily starts with A. Emile... Starts with an E. Is she all right? Actually, the girl who was kidnapped is named Camilla. Why is a dream talking to me in my head again? Wait a minute. Unpronounceable name? Could that be the one next door? Yeah, I think so. Wow, I didn't know the Justice Minister lived next door. No, not me. My wife. It's complicated. Yeah, I bet it would be pretty hard to admit she left him. The minister's wife ran away on him? Maybe they grew apart, what with him being so busy. Yeah, I bet you're right. Please stop gossiping about me inside my own head. I will gossip wherever I so choose. Alright, what have you got to say about all this? According to what I heard, the bird is the word, was supposed to go to some sort of lesson tonight. Those horrible kidnappers, they were lying in wait for her. But she didn't go out after all. She couldn't. She had a fever. Huh, so the kidnappers grabbed Camilla by mistake instead. Apparently, Emil and Camilla are about the same age. I'm just gonna have to go with that. The kidnappers must have gotten the two of them mixed up, despite looking entirely differently. It's my fault. If I hadn't asked Camilla to do that errand for me, this would have never happened. That's true. Oh, right, you asked her to bring the music box. Camilla. Oh, don't worry, she'll probably be fine. I don't think this game is tragic enough for anything otherwise. Also, I can't reach your head. Okay. You knew, didn't you, Inspector Cabanella, that the execution was tonight? I don't believe I had any obligation to tell you. You know, just basic human decency. And you're fine with this. I mean, you know as well as I do. Detective Jowd could never have done such a thing. Ha ha ha! Oh, come on now, I know no such thing. I know two things to be true and two things only. One, he was given the death penalty, and two, he tried to escape. What else could I do but haul him in? If that's the case, why did you bring him here? Whatever do you mean, young lady? He escaped from prison, right? So why didn't you just take him back to prison? Why'd you bring him here? I think you only brought him here to brag about your accomplishment. Isn't that right, Inspector? For your own selfish reasons. So were all those rumors about you true? That the only thing you care about is a spotless record? Is that more important to you than saving a friend? I take your silence as agreement. Everybody has certain principles they can't go back on, including me. You'll understand that someday. No, I really don't think I will, but okay, sure. That's enough, Lynn. Oh, hey, he got closer, that's good. But Detective Jowd, I'm a death row inmate who escaped from prison. This is how it should be. But thigh. All right, time to jump in your head. Time for a conversation. Ah, so Mr. Ghost, we meet again. I heard something happened. Something about a kidnapping? Yeah, it's your daughter. Still feel completely lackadaisical about this situation and are totally willing to die now? Because that's stupid. That's really stupid. Some kidnappers are saying they abducted the Justice Minister's daughter. That's terrible. What's their demand, I say jovially, not being aware of the fact that it's actually my daughter. The carrying out of your execution tonight. Ha ha ha! I had no idea I was so hated. But the minister doesn't have to worry. I die and it's all over. Very simple. It's not that simple. Why not? Because it isn't really the minister's daughter who got kidnapped, you oaf! It's Camilla! What? I suddenly care! I checked it out for myself. I'm positive. No, it can't be! Now I can't let myself die! And by the way, Camilla told me something interesting. She said the one who killed her mother 5 years ago was Camilla herself. It was manslaughter, but I mean, yeah. What? What are you talking about? Don't listen to him! His hair is full of lies! Believe in the beard. I am the one who shot her. I am the one who shot Alma. And when I'm executed tonight, that will be the end of it. Camilla won't have to suffer anymore after tonight, except, you know, for the whole kidnapping and the everything. And for the fact that her dad is gonna die. That's, you know. For a capable detective, you do say some incredibly misguided things. Exclamation point in horror. You dying isn't gonna end the girl's suffering. It'll just bring her new suffering. The only person's pain this execution is going to ease is yours. Snam. Is it true, what Camilla said? Why don't you tell us what you know? Tell us about some things! To be honest, I still don't understand what happened that day. It was my wife's, Alma's, birthday. We came home from work, and she went in first. And got shot for it. which is just all around unfortunate. And then everything just kind of reset itself instantaneously. It's very strange. It's also kind of disturbing how that room was entirely almost untouched. I mean, it's full of, you know, like, grime and stuff, but basically all of the components that were part of the death machine were still there. So she had to look at all of it while she was trapped in there. That's really messed up. I looked for the shooter, but there was nobody to be found. There was nobody there besides Elma and Camilla. Just the two of them. So the little lady's mother dead right in front of her. Oh my, that's so horrible. Yeah, that is pretty messed up. Camilla told me about it. She was crying. She said the contraption she made did something it wasn't supposed to. Made an impossible move. An impossible move? What, like moving a pawn diagonally? Camilla was a quiet little girl, but she was good with her hands. And don't take that the wrong way. She was a little genius at making elaborate toys and contraptions. But there were two very strange points about that contraption. The first was, of course, the firing of that gun. Right, it was an antique gun I had on display for years. An antique gun that you had loaded? So it wasn't part of the little lady's original design. Of course it wasn't. It was supposed to be a surprise for her mother's birthday. And the other strange point was the movement of that Cupid. Cupid? Do you know any other full-grown men running around in a diaper? If so, they should probably go get help. It was supposed to shoot its arrow without turning around. That would have been awesome. Somebody made a change to the contraption's design and then manipulated it by flipping that thing around for the purposes of murder. I don't know what to say. I didn't have time to think things through then. All I knew was I had to protect Camilla. I made a small adjustment to the scene and turned myself in. What you talking about? What kind of an adjustment? The gun, of course. The gun, eh? Come to think of it. Huh, it ain't there. There was no gun there, just a picture hanging on the wall. Of course not, because I secretly switched the gun out of the frame with the picture. I'm sure glad Sissel noticed, because I sure as hell didn't. I didn't believe what she told me about her contraption. But one thing was for certain, that gun was still smoking. So that gun really did shoot Alma. I hid the gun before I went to the police. You hid it? In the wooden box and gave it to you. That's right, I passed off incriminating evidence over to my subordinate because I'm a good person. Yeah, you're real good at your job there, buddy. And that still thinks it's a music box. So that's what's in the box? A flippin' gun? I got a different murder weapon ready to give to the police. My own pistol. And I did a few other things to make it look good. I won't go into the details. Gross. When I was all done, I turned myself in. Alright, that's incredibly stupid. You're stupid! It's been 5 years since then. I stopped thinking about it. Yeah, except totally, you definitely didn't. I shot Elma, there's no other explanation. That's what I convinced everyone of, even me. But tonight you showed up and gave me an explanation I never would have thought of before. The powers of the dead, right? That day in that room, powers that I didn't understand were at work. And if that's the case, it clears up all the mysteries. Maybe not all. There are a couple of other people who know about those powers. At the very least, her, somehow, for some reason. That's really freaking weird! The kidnappers who abducted Camilla knew about those powers. This is no ordinary kidnapping. This is advanced kidnapping. Like, you gotta take a class and read a book in order to make it to that level. Looks like my wife's case isn't coming to an end after all. I'm the only one who's thought it was. Detective Jowd. There's still time before dawn. A little, anyway. How about you see this case through to the end before you die? That would be nice. Alright. Detective Jowd, is what you told us just now true? Yes, of course. In that case, there's still time. Still time? Time to solve that case that started 5 years ago. You didn't do it, Detective Jowd, and of course little Camilla didn't do it either. So the true perpetrator is still out there, and I'm going to prove it. And the fact that those two guards and Cabanella have been completely in the dark this entire time is hilarious to me. For Camilla's sake! Come on. Come on, French fry hair. Huzzah! That sounds wunderbar. Thank you, Detective Jowd. Lynn, where's that music box now? In Sick Park. Camilla left it there. That gun is important evidence. You'd better go pick it up. Yes, sir. I'll go right now. Rapido! Sissel, take care of Detective Jowd. And do something about the kidnapping so we can get the minister on our side. And yet again, I say, easy enough for you to say. Huh. Neat. What's going on? Deal me the deal, Mr. Death Row inmate. Or we could deliberately keep him in the dark, because that would be funny. And therapeutic. A little change in plans. My daughter has been kidnapped. I can't just go off and die without doing something. But you're in our custody, don't forget. Back at the prison, everybody's waiting for you with a special seat just for you. Yes, we get it. You're very awful. Then I guess we'd better prove my innocence on the double. On the double, is it? You sound so determined, my old friend. I want to save Camilla, in more ways than one. And that's all there is to it. And considering the dude's size, I'm pretty sure he could take you. Even if you do have a gun on you, pretty sure he could rip you in half before it happens. I see, my old friend, in more ways than one. What say you, Mr. Minister? May you have your decision? Should the execution be carried out tonight as planned? Or should we hold off and wait for this important evidence to come in? The order still stands. Bring the prisoner back immediately and resume its enforcement. Why you gotta be all like this? As you wish, Your Excellency. Please don't bow to me, and especially not that low. Cleaning the floor with your hair at that angle. In that case, can I have one of your boys arrange a prison van to pick him up? And suddenly a third guard that was not there before has arrived. And why did they have spears? The time period in which this game takes place is forever confusing to me. We've got prescription heart medication, we have televisions, but we also have rotary phones, and we've got, like, Buckingham Palace guards. What is up with this? And yes, I know that the palace guards are still a thing. It's just they're not usually... You don't see them anywhere else. The van should take about 10 minutes, I'm guessing. Your escape tonight was brilliant. Will you show me another miracle in those last few minutes of yours, Mr. Death Row inmate? You know, I have a name, right? Alright, well. He certainly can't do anything, but I can. I'm glad to see Detective Jowd is all fired up now, but I feel like I'm under the gun here. Even if Lynn does come through with proof of Jowd's innocence, it'll be meaningless if Jowd or Camilla dies. I've got to do something about that kidnapping somehow. Maybe I should ask for some advice from the capable detective. Well, now that he's done being so damn complacent, most likely the minister won't stop the execution. Not as long as there's any small chance his daughter is the one who was kidnapped. But she isn't the one. I'm sure of it. Well, it would be great if we could prove that to the minister. Prove it? How? I doubt his wife is ever going to answer that phone if we call from here. If we call from here, right? But a telephone works in both directions. What are you saying? What I'm saying is only family members can solve a family problem. Hey, Mr. Ghost, I have a name! I have to admit, I don't like depending on others. But you're the only one who could change this situation. Gee, detective, no pressure or anything. For these past 5 years, Camilla's the only thing that kept me going. I can't go meekly to the chair now. I hate to ask this, but would you mind saving me? I'll try. The key to getting the Justice Minister to stop the execution is his wife and daughter. But is there even a way? There's only one way that I'm aware of, and that it involves hip-hopping into a phone. Excuse me, Mr. Minister. I can't hear you, la 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 la. I'm sure you heard everything we've been saying. Are you telling me you don't believe any of it? Let me speak plainly. I don't trust you. But there's somebody else whom I trust even less. Oh yeah, who's that? Me. I can't explain your existence. It's not normal, but I'm pretty abnormal myself. So maybe you're a figment of my imagination, a delusion. Would you listen to a delusion? To be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about. I got the bit about you not trusting me, though. Good. All right, fine. Then I have no choice but to make you trust me. Well, hanging around here won't change anything. I got 10 minutes before the prison van shows up. If I could just do something about the kidnapping in those 10 minutes. I guess the telephone lines are my only hope. Here, you know the thing about all this is? And it's really quite humorous. I guarantee, with 100% certainty, that getting this to happen is going to take significantly longer than 10 minutes. I feel as if that is a very, very safe bet. Yellow. Just as I thought. That tiny child is still there. And the coughing has commenced. No, wait, no, I guess she's done. Murder, execution, jailbreak, betrayal, and now kidnapping. This last link in this long chain of sad fate lit a fire in Jowd's heart, and the chance to turn it all around is right here in this room. Man, we sure are lucky that literally everybody involved with all of this isn't asleep at 1 in the morning. I'm getting a strange premonition. Everything that happened so far tonight has related back to me in some way. And I bet this mistake-ridden abduction does too. Well, honestly, the game's kind of setting things up so it's like Sissel is apparently the guy who made the deal with those 2 kidnappers and the hitman. Well, maybe not the hitman, but the 2 kidnappers, because the person that they were supposed to meet is very clearly Sissel at this point. The question is why, and the question is how. That's the question, as I just said. The point is, it's all set up too perfectly. Sissel has to be ultimately the main bad guy of all this, and he just doesn't realize it. Which is I'm totally down for being proven wrong, but that seems like the obvious course of action. Either dang way. Hope you guys had a fantabulous time in the next part. I guess we're gonna try and fix all these problems somehow. Hell if I know. See you then.